contested farm over on Sven. It's just like, how hard can you win your lane? The Sven will have a hard time, like a real hard time actually, up against the lone druid, but Brewmaster will have an easier time, be it through Drunken Haze, be it through Brawler, and also if he has extra support from the Bane early on. It all goes towards helping out. Like, the Brewmaster just has to be careful once the Entangle appears over on the bear, once the bear gets up at high levels, and you're running a solo lone druid, so he is going to get levels pretty quickly. Brewmaster just doesn't want to have to pop his ulti defensively, so Vega will want to try and get in if they can and be aggressive. The timing I'm looking for is something around like the 4-minute mark, just before like you hit that level 6 over on lone druid, and then you just attack. Like, you could Drunken Haze, do whatever you want, and you rotate Solo in. Solo's going to go for this early... Is he actually going to go for the Null Blade Mail build? Just interesting to see, like, 2 Circlets starting off for Nature's Prophet early on. The Null Blade Mail build normally is, like, only great when you... No, I don't even think it's great anymore. Like no player really plays it. In the last 6 months, I have 2 moments appearing in my brain where I actually saw the Null Talisman into Blade Mail build happen, and both times it was very underwhelming, and you ended up just having Blade Mail being that kind of thing. One of the games was actually won, the other game was lost. And the only reason why that other game was won was because the Prophet ended up selling everything he had just to go for this split push build. It ended up being a long, drawn-out style of game. So, want to see how Solo's going to build this Nature's Prophet. Down in bottom lane, let the vision battle begin. Broodmother will want to try and... Actually, with the Observer Wards, like, you're going to know that the 2 supports... Like, this actually Observer Ward is wonderful. It's just far enough to the side... Okay, this Sentry is not so wonderful. But it's just far enough to the side where Diggity will not want to commit a Sentry Ward there. And the positioning of Mag's webs is also pulling you away from doing such a thing, because Mag's keeping his webs just basically on this side of the line. So there's no reason to throw like a sentry down in this area, which could potentially reveal that Observer Ward. So Mag knows exactly what he's getting into. He gets attacked once, so he realizes there's actually a sentry on this lane, because he didn't reveal himself for this. And what are you going to do? You're going to commit two heroes to the bottom lane. Yamps are actually missing that pull. It doesn't seem like much, but it's actually going to be pretty brutal to miss these kind of stacks, because he needs to get it before Mag gets powerful enough that he could just walk into a lane. Just defensive nature all over. Mid lane as well. So I actually said around... I actually got my timing wrong a little bit, where I said like 4 minutes in. It's probably going to be faster than that no one as well as Quoifer are able to get their levels up. Because the denial chance here in the mid lane is pretty low. Like, even with both Bear as well as Druid, like, no one's just messing with so much of the CS, thanks to that Drunken Brawler. I mean, thanks to that Drunken Haze. So the denials are, yeah, iffy. Battle for the Rune, Savage Roar too powerful. And it's just a haste rune for the Bear. Looks like bottom room was also denied off by one of the Broodlings. Damn, Mag. Watching him play is so beautiful. Like, just one rogue spider. You've obviously got a lot of them to spare. But now you start to see his CS kick up a little bit more. And Era have to hunt for it. But what's he going to do? Commit Avalanche and Toss for this? That's not really his desired play. Like, the desired play is to toss Mag back in range of the tier 1 tower, Synderen to follow up with both Sun and Wave of Terror, and then you find a kill. But Synderen knows he also can't stand easily in this lane. Mag just sits in the tree line, and they can't attack over there. Like, you've got Dust, Sentries, and Observers, all on Synderen. The fact that you're still holding on to one of your Observers... Like, where is your... Okay, so the other one's up on top lane. This is the one lane which I haven't really looked at closely at all. You got your one Observer Ward knowing when Slayer's going to come over, and this allows Beastmaster to play the off lane. But he's also in the same kind of capacity as Mag. Very, very passive. Now Mag wants to move over a little bit more, and this may actually encourage Synderen to throw down the Sentry Ward, which will reveal out the Obs. Just because Mag is going to want to move... Like, you've already got a Sentry Ward, which is looking at the lane. You could potentially throw one here, but Mag's ward positioning will instantly take care of that. Obviously, Synderen doesn't know that, but he's probably going to throw down the sentry anyway. He might have to hide it inside the trees. Yeah, he's going to do that. If Mag moves his Spirelings up, okay, yeah, they see one, and Mag's still got his own sentry ward. But this is now both sentries, like, applied over on the side. Okay, Mag's going to get rid of that. And this other one in the lane's going to time out in 13 seconds time. And Mag will be very aware of this timing too. I'm actually really just enjoying watching this little duel on the bottom. Should probably be looking a little bit more towards the mid, because like Lone Druid as well as Brewmaster. Brewmaster's falling behind now in that CS, and it's just because he has to give respect to the Spirit Bear. Quoifer is going to be able to start outplaying him a lot. Just because he's got the potential entangle at any moment. He doesn't care about losing a bear, the Brewmaster. Sure, you give an extra 300 gold, but the harassment to keep Brewmaster off the creep wave and away from getting that early Blink Dagger is more than worth it. Because it stops no one from just instantly rotating out. Solo can soak up the experience when that happens as well. The Sven doesn't want to go anywhere just yet. We got Treads early on, Quelling Blade. Like, it's all about the farm for him and nothing more. There will be probably one power play, which will happen when the Beastmaster... Obviously, the Beastmaster doesn't really have a great counter push. He's got level 1 access, so he can drag the creep wave back. But when Solo's got probably... Actually, he went for a 1-2-2 build. Okay, I thought like you'd go for the earlier point up in Nature's Call. So you actually have a 1-1-3 build, and then he just TPs in, and they force the tier 1 tower on the top. You got God Strength up and running now for FN. This is kind of the time of the next catapult wave to push. And then they should be able to take out that tower with pretty much ease. Like, the VS could rotate up. Yabsor doesn't want to really start moving out just yet. Like, this guy's only got 4 CS and he's level 3. Like, how are those stacks going? Okay, he's managed to pick himself up 1 stack, like, but that's only 1. That's not a triple stack. That's just ogres and wolves. Is there anything else available? Not that hasn't been taken by the Beastmaster. So this SK is going to take some time before he gets a Blink Dagger. A little bit of miss micro there from Mag. He fed a lot of spiders over just then. That's what's going to inflate the CS from Era. But seeing how much net worth he's really achieving, 2.4k to the 3.1k of this event. And this is also now, yeah, exactly what we're looking for. God Strength comes out, Solo comes over. There's only level 2 treants, but it was enough. This time, they could actually look for the kill over on Synderen. Wrath of Nature is up. So, no one just charges forward. If he gets the clap off, Synderen is dead. Wrath of Nature's already been triggered. There goes your clap, and First Blood. Mag is there as well with the extra damage from the spawn Spiderlings. Era is so close to him, too. And Era doesn't have a... Well, he's got a TP, and there are no stuns available. Are they bailing out? Okay, so Era's actually just tossing down towards Mag. He's trying to juke it around to the tree lines. But that's a good rotation early on for Vega. They get First Blood. Brewmaster Split didn't have to be committed for them to actually find a kill. Yeah, we're not looking at a core. It was just Synderen that ended up going down, so something of lower value was lost as far as Diggity goes. It's just support, not one of their cores. But it's still just, it's not dealing with the problem that's going to be the Broodmother. And you can't really deal with the problem. But the only way to deal with that kind of problem is stopping the push. But they had to abandon the top lane for this. And Dallo Slayer, you're going to get an easy level 4. Yeah, I'm just going to get pissed off at this. He's going to lose CS as well. Alright, so he loses a little bit of CS. Slayer's there at the perfect time to soak up the experience. And that should have actually been, I believe, the level 5 for the Sand King. If the Bane wasn't there. I would have brought him very damn close. No one. You got no mana. And Quoitfer. Oh, that's just too easy. Wait, did he miss? He missed for a moment. Synderen was able to commit to get the kill, however. And that's a bit of a blunder. Just being too short in the mana. The one charges were triggered, but it just wasn't enough. And that's a big kill coming the way... it didn't actually go the way of Quoitfer. In fact, it was Synderen who had to kill secure it because Quoitfer missed it. And Solo tries to round Synderen, but Nimviz at the 8-minute mark is going to stop that from happening. In comes the toss. Yapsaw, nice. Burrow Strike, sentries down. Avalanche going to go to work, and Mag has to Insatiable Hunger it. Okay, now I'm actually really liking that combination. Solo comes in. He's got extra help coming in from the Bane, but the Bane, he has to consume his Mango in order to find this kill. Yapsaw going to Burrow Strike himself away. Mango consumed. Yapsaw back into Invis. Can he actually get the last hit? Okay. they can. Solo's going to get accredited for the kill. Nice avalanche toss onto all three heroes of Vega, and this will dissuade them from charging any further underneath that tower. Especially now the Beastmaster's down here with Raw. But doesn't stop Sven from coming in. Like, he triggers God Strength. He needs the Spiderlings and the Treants to move forward towards that tower. But all they end up doing is just buying, like, no, yeah, fortification out. Okay, yeah, they're not going to contest this. In fact, it's going to be Diggity pushing the middle lane. Cinderant, Solo, instantly going to regret that TP forward. Still visible, so Cinderant can just harass him back. He's not going to find the kill. And there goes your tier 1 tower. Quaver's having a great time. Like, you might think it's a little bit greedy to go for the hand of Midas, but he knew he wasn't going to be pressured that hard. And he's going to need big items if he's going to carry this game, not to mention the levels. So he's already up to 1,300 gold after buying the Midas. Era's almost at his Blink Dagger with his Arcane Boots, so most definitely the roaming, ganking kind of style hero. How's Sand King? Sand King's looking with Arcane Boots. It's not bad. Needs a little bit more space to farm though. And that Blink Dagger being the most critical item. And the Beastmaster on his way to an early Necro book. So there's your Blink Dagger. Of course, we did see the combination where Yamsor doesn't even require the Blink Dagger early on. Like, you're running double Arcane Boots on both the Tiny as well as the SK. So you can toss in instead of having to use the Blink Dagger, just like they did on Mag on the bottom lane on Brood. Just toss in straight to the Burrow Strike, trigger Dust, or Sentry. Then you should be able to find the kill directly after that. And with the Burrow Strike timing and then the follow-up from the Tiny, like, you can toss the SK in, he gets the initial Burrow Strike off, then the Tiny blinks in, you get Avalanche, you get Toss, and the Epicenter channel time should be more than easy enough if you're going for these solo pickoffs. The stuns against it still really only belong to the Bane as well as the Sven. They're the only two that really have a way to stop it. And now, well, there's your toss back into the Raw. No one's double damage won't save him. And no Diggity getting good pickoffs across the map. Yabsor also causing more problems here for Mag. He doesn't have the vision on him and decided not to trigger the Dust. But he might be trying to bait Mag to come back out and fight him. Like, there's a lot of heroes around here for Diggity. And with the Beastmaster Hawk moving forward, if Mag does want to fight, like, they're going to see him pretty early on. But Mag decides against it, wisely so. Alright, so Solo did end up... So he bought the Bracer as well as the Casual Non-Talismans. That's what his two Circlets went into, so thank God it's not what I thought it was. Just Phase Boost and Drums works on almost any off-lane hero right now. So he can build himself into something more aggressive. Well, they're going to commit straight Fiend Script. Beastmaster already bought up his Necro book, so he doesn't lose that much money from this. But they could lose more. Yapsor, Burrow Strikes. Oh, he cancelled his TP. They go in. He goes inside a Sandstorm, but then Solo with the Sprout. They gain the vision, and no one's there to finish it. I can only assume that was a misclick, as there was no stun nearby him to actually cancel that TP. Yamsor should have got himself out of that one, and then he also cancelled his Sandstorm. So two quick hero pickoffs from Vega. And they're trying to force the issue into the tier 2 tower and bottom lane. They've already burnt the God Strength, but okay, they're going to come over for Roshan instead. The two heroes from No Diggity went down for long enough that maybe they would feel like they could push into that tier 2 tower and sustain the push. So they go for something which is a little bit more achievable. They got a huge amount of summons over on Vega. So this should be easy enough. Diggity going to smoke themselves up. They were far enough away from the Dire Observer Ward that this wasn't scattered out, but they're already too late. Vega have Roshan. Aegis of the Immortal goes into the Brewmaster. And they really want to try and find themselves a kill, but no one's the only one that's really presenting as a target until, okay. Well, Mag is here. Cinderim, there's the Dust as he got swapped. Yeah, he does. With a Burrow Strike, not the greatest chaining of abilities, but they still get all the stuns off in time. Solo's going to arrive again, TPing in a little bit later on. No one. Well, where's your stuns? Where's your control? It doesn't exist. The Brewmaster split. Couldn't get a stun and Tornado off in time. So the TP's out from Diggity is successful. They burn the Broodmaster ultimate, and they kill off the Broodmother. They'll still end up losing their tier 2 tower on bottom lane. Nothing's going to stop this, just because it's the summon push lineup right now of Vega. And there's still a couple of Spirelings in this fight, but Solo can do this by himself. And this is a real problem for Diggity. Like, you're up against a Broodmother who now has complete control over your jungle. Once this tier 1 tower goes down, maybe then I can actually say complete control. Until now, they've got a decent control of the jungle. But Quaifer's getting a lot of space too. Like, yes, Ven's got a lot of money. This is also because they've got, well, they've only got like 2 extra towers on top of Diggity. And Quaifer is running that Midas play. So he should have enough money soon that he can just, well, actually he can buy the full Radiance. 3.8k, and then, yeah, so he's just a couple of 100 gold. But by farming up this camp as well as the Ancients, with the timing of it too, he can stack it. So yeah, they can, in the next 30 seconds, have Radiance over on Quaifer. He's already picked up the Relic now for his bear. Where does Mag want to go? Actually picking up a Mithril Hammer. Up against this lineup, there is a decent amount of magical damage. In fact, most of what's being pumped out is magical damage until that bear gets bigger and the Tiny gets nags with a crit. So going something like a BKB would make sense, but if he wants to add a lot of pressure to that bottom lane, he may be tossing up the option of a Desolator. Because that means he at least threatens buildings a lot more. But you've already got enough threatening presence. Like, when you've got a huge amount of summons, like, I suppose maybe it's not as threatening when that Radiance kicks in. And you might want the BKB for that as well. No one. The beauty of Entangle. He's got the Aegis the Immortal, so he's trying to bait the initiation out. Hero's moving into position. I thought for a moment to actually toss over Yapsaw. Checking the tree line instead. So back into daytime. Good vision up. Radiance Burn keeping him back. Now, good Burrow Strike with the Dust Reveal. They go for the big damage, and they've already brought down Mag. A good Roar stopping no one from getting that split off. Remember, though, he does have split available as well as the Aegis the Immortal. So here comes a split, and Yapsaw, well, he's sent up. He's still got Sandstorm and Burrow Strike, but the stun combination from Vega is just too good. These Necro Books, they're waiting to burn off even more mana. So you take the bear out of play for the moment, thanks to the Storm Brewling. But no one's still pretty injured, and with no Brew ulti, they don't have enough control factors now, Vega. So they're backing themselves out until swap. FN unwillingly brought back into that fight. Looking for the opening, gonna chase after Solo. If he's close enough, then they can actually finally attack with the bear. He's almost body blocking, and then they toss Vega. Slayer has to come over. Solo is still so damn low. He's attempting the TP out, but the Radiance burns too much. Beastmaster will actually take a double kill here. As no one's gone AWOL. He's actually trapped. Era jumping in quickly. No one. Oh, the Burrow Strike from Yapsaw. Just a little bit too far away. Couldn't catch up to him. And Diggity, they've hit their sweet spot. They've hit that timing. Killing off the Broodmother that early on in the fight also meant that there was no pressure being applied to the bottom lane. So Diggity were just able to keep on fighting without having to look behind themselves. Just keep the chase going. Which makes that pick off on Mag even more important. Also, shout out to... This is a bug which is going on at the moment. Blitz is actually tweeting about it earlier today. When you transmit with open mic, you get frame stutter like this. Spring cleaning at its finest. But at least it's better than casting off China. Solid trying to cliff this out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Didn't even
attack.
drop an Observer Ward. Like, they got one up here. Yeah, not certain exactly what that that maneuver was for. And he's very lucky there was no defensive Observer Ward up there. Now we're 18 minutes in, and your offlane Beastmaster, who is playing a very, very passive style game, is now able to have a level 3 Necro Book and work his way into having that Blink Dagger. Then Broodmother's life is even more in jeopardy. Like, Brood's already going to have a hard time, primarily because the Necro Book is going to reveal him. And Diggity are making a big point to carry a lot of reveal on them. Like, right now, they've actually only got the Dust over on Yapsor, but the Dust is enough when he's got a Blink Dagger as well. And, of course, if you trigger Necro Books, you get the True Sight. Where are they off to? Beastmaster Hawk's having a look, just watching the Trader Catapult doing the stacking of the Dire Ancients. And Sven, moving forward, there's that Radiant Observer Ward, just a little bit too far away. Okay, I'll wait until this push actually happens, because I got a feeling that Vega... Like, then again, do they want to defend this? I'm going to do my DC Re-See thing, and see if it actually fixes the frame stutter. This tier 1, tier 2 tower. Oh, it's just too easy to kill. Like, Koifer's getting so much money. And he actually has the last hit in the tower as well. There's nothing to stop them from attacking into the tier 3. Like, you don't have a huge amount of auras, but you've still got an epicenter, which has never been used. Necro Book's available to actually go. And they're going to battle into the tower. This army of Treants doesn't really last that long under the Burn of Radiance. The counter push as well is not really that strong from Vega, so they have to defend this. The Wave of Terror forward is the Brewmaster aggressive Blink, but all they want to do is put the bear at risk. Koiver's got a resummon on it, so he's okay with that. The Necro Books are timing out, and they've already forced Vega to TP out. So Diggity have bought themselves a lot of map space. Thol's going to try and remove this, going into this full Aghanim Scepter straight build. I say straight after he got drums and null talisman, but he needed that so he could actually fight. But having the Aghanim Scepter is going to make it so Diggity has to keep falling back. But as you saw, like, Diggity just needs a small moment, one good fight, and then that lone druid push is just going to be brutal. All right, let's do this while we've got ourselves a chance. And hope this corrects something. I prefer to have a little bit of stutter than to take away the audio from inside the game. Because that would just be like a dick move to the people inside of Dota TV. Alright, so I got Roshan in 1 minute and 3 seconds, which keep this in mind. Nope, we've still got the stutter. Thank you very much.
With me.
Gonna double check and make sure it's not actually our... Nope, internet line's fine. Yeah, it's pure client side. And if Yapsor can also get a 4-staff too. The sprite control will then have really no effect. Not really feeling the power of it. I actually thought this would be so much better for Vega, because it was like, it's 3 melee cores running up against a Sven. Like, normally the hardest problem you've got as a Sven is keeping up with everyone else. Because they just kite the Sven. Oh, did it actually get worse? Wow, okay, cool. Koifer's ready to defend. Full Assault Cuirass is also now over on that bear. So you're adding an armor disadvantage for Vega. Both in the team fights and to protect their own buildings. And this Broodmother Desolator, like, I like the early damage. Like, I'm a big Deso fan. But you're not really feeling the influence of this from Mag. There's been too many kills on the bottom lane. Like, you've taken over this entire Radiant jungle. And where is Mag? He's currently hiding in the mid lane. Because he understands that Diggity will just rotate down and try and find him. So until he's got a BKB, he's not going to feel very secure on that off lane. But he needs to be down here applying pressure. Like, the fact that you got a creep wave at this point. Like, with both a Prophet as well as a Broodmother on the field. There's no tier 1 tower mid. There's no towers on the bottom lane. They just can't have the pressure. And without that pressure, there's no reason for Diggity to fall back every time. And Diggity know what they're trading off here. Like, with that illusion coming in from the Beastmaster, they know that Roshan's being done. But you don't have to care. Like, your primary objective right now is just to take the racks and then push yourself into a win scenario off the back of the lone druid. Having an Aegis Immortal, like, it doesn't really help Vega, because who have you got? You got a Sven who, like, once he triggers God Strength, he's not really as powerful. The Brewmaster is kind of in the same boat. Like, you use the Aegis more as bait. But in the last fight, that no one had the Aegis, the Brewmaster ulti was triggered while he still had the Aegis, the Immortal. So Diggity were actually kiting him out nicely, not allowing him to come to the front lines, kill him off, or put him into a position where he soaks up big abilities from Diggity. Because what is he going to soak up? Like, he soaks up Raw. Yeah, that's actually quite a good thing to soak up. But at the same time, Diggity, like, the best position I can see right now from no one is that, actually, okay, that's right, to put this event, the Aegis and the model in this event. But yeah, the greatest position that no one could have is that Diggity try and kill him off before he splits. Now that he doesn't have an Aegis, Diggity may attempt this, and then he gets the split. Because Diggity will attempt this because they've got the Necrobooks. They'll believe they can burn through 533 mana with Necrobooks. Goodbye, Cinderin. Yapsaw, going to be kept out of this by Slayer. Cinderin, there's no way to really survive this at all. So both the supports should be going down. Wrath of Nature triggers in quite nicely. So welcome to a Greater Treant. And this is push moment. There's fortification available right now from Diggity. And you got to remember, too, that there is backdoor protection. The creep wave hasn't arrived from the mid lane yet. So this is taking Vega a little bit longer than they would really like, and Diggity have to buy themselves some time. Thanks to the backdoor regeneration and the fortification, that tower actually went back up again to half-life. But now Vega push. The defense job's going to be difficult but not impossible. Like, you got Avalanche Toss plus Bear Radiance. So Vega realized that, yeah, they actually can't. An army of summons doesn't work very well at all against this Diggity lineup. It works even worse, like, when the Sand King's on the field. Because you add the Epicenter into the mix. Actually went no points up in Caustic Finale. But I'm okay with that. Like, he's just trying to be as useful as he can with his points. And Caustic Finale is not going to give him much at this point. Not as much as you'd get from, like, your high levels up in Sandstorm and having the 2 points up in Epi or the 4 points Burrow. Like, he's an initiator, first and foremost. Not a split pusher. They can get enough of that from this bear who's already building into... Wait, what is he building into? Like, Monkey King Bar would be obviously the only thing you'd want to build over on this bear. Daedalus doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's most definitely not a rapier. However, that would be hilarious if he did. Alright, so you get a Monkey King Bar over on him. I'm trying to think, like, who that is really against. I suppose it's the mischance coming out from the Bite, and the Drunken Haze as well from the Brewmaster. Like, that's obviously what he's trying to counter. A Monkey King Bar will counter both those abilities, so the bear will be effective. Say goodbye to your last out of tower. Cinderon's going to keep walking with that bear. Yabsaw's right behind him, so the bear just keeps the Radiance push going, but Diggity have to come back. But the TP's now arriving from Cinderon. Yabsaw coming in a little bit later. Gonna take considerable damage because they've already burned their fortification on the mid lane. So they lose a top tower. And what are you going to do? Brewmaster jumps forward. A big primal split, but he's underneath tier 4 towers. But he's keeping the rest of Diggity out. Now in comes Yapsaw with the Epicenter. The Raw's down as well. Most of the minions are already gone. The Phoenix Group committed to actually controlling up only the SK, who's able to force-staff himself away. Say goodbye to your Bane. Say goodbye to your entire team. Era was just able to penetrate the back line here of Vega. FN's down for the count. There goes your Aegis the Immortal. An Invis is triggered off by the Brewmaster, but the Necro units are still down, so no one is very, very visible. And he'll burn out. It's a triple kill right now for Kizu, and FM will join him with Era picking up a double. A great defense there from Diggity. Vega knew they had to try something, but Diggity were waiting for them. They kept the bottom lane pressure up as long as they possibly could. Vega didn't take the bait. They turned around for a good fight. The Brewmaster control again, like jumping in very, very deep. Wasn't able to find the control he was hoping for. Like, they needed to stop the Epicenter from Yapsaw arriving. They needed to keep the timing on the back lines. The first stun that was thrown out from the Brewmaster was focused directly on Era, keeping him away from the fight. Because they're just worried about that pop combo, which is exactly what Era got off. Like, he's actually quite shite at bringing down Slayer. Nightmare only delays the inevitable. I actually think this is game right now, because they're going to take 2 lanes of Raxus. Even with a Brood as well as a Nature's Prophet. Actually, the Brood doesn't do anything now. He's dropped off too far. The BKB's too far away. Coinver's going to rotate over. If anyone comes to defend this, like, you're just going to get initiated on by Yapsaw more than likely. They're going to Okay, maybe Diggity does give them respect. This Ven's coming back alive now. But you've got such a tanky lone druid bear. Like, you don't really want to back off from this. Yeah, you see Yabsaw. He's poking and prodding, trying to go for it. FN now roared up. There's no... Actually, yeah, there is. There's Necrobooks up on the field. It's 4 seconds until Brewmaster split. And FN's trying to get rid of these Necrobooks. He's able to do so. And now Diggity, they have to bail out. There's no fighting. Even with the BKB down from FN, you don't have your Necrobooks. You don't have a way to stop the Brewmaster split from happening. But then again, do you even really care? The Brewmaster split didn't do enough work. Maybe they just have enough confidence. They just keep going. Nope. They're back out. Quoifer's still got a lot of money to spend. He's got 5,000 gold now over on that lone druid. So yeah, he's got more than enough of a surplus to buy the double jabbles. And then the Monkey King barn will be completed. And now that BKB is up for Mag, at least he can do some level of damage in a team fight without having to worry about that mischance from Radiance all the time and all the magical damage that gets thrown at him. So Brewmother could be a bit more of a player in the fight, but they need this Ven to also step up. His BKB timing is already down to 7 seconds, and we haven't really felt the big effect of his BKB either. And now Quoifer with BTs, he can jump himself anywhere across the map that he wants to. As, whoop, hello. Quick DC out. Solo is lost. Alright, so Diggity. As we have Solo back inside the game. Actually an E-Blade build as well. Oh, that's so good. I love this from Era. He's recognizing that the BKB timing of this event is getting lower and lower and lower, and the magical combo is still pretty damn brutal. So when he blinks in, he actually now can one-shot anyone that doesn't have a BKB. Because his combo is just that powerful. This event may be the only one that could survive it, primarily because of just the raw HP of 2.4k. But when you think about it, with the amount of damage that's done with the amplification which comes from E-Blade, even if it's just stopping the Zven from attacking when he's got Gold Strength triggered, like the duration's long enough anyway that maybe you won't care too much about that. I guess 25 seconds you only take like a fraction of that off. It's like 20%, yeah. And Vega just being poked and prodded on all sides. This is just too easy for Quoifer. Like, he drunken haze over on the bat, but they just keep pushing. The bottom lane also isn't far enough over for Vega to feel confident enough. Like, it's at least on the Radiant side of the base, but Diggity can just keep the siege going. As Vega now run out, Diggity, they're actually walking away from where they got vision, which is back inside the lane. But if they can catch no one out with the Avalanche toss, Era still didn't even need to use its E-Blade, and Yapsaw arrives with the epicenter. FN to be roared up, so he's going to be delayed even further. That's inside of his own BKB. Synderen going to be careful not to be killed off, which he will actually happen to him. And FN, Entangle, they're coming back in again with the buybacks out from Vega. They're committing everything they got to this fight, but there's just no more BKB charges available. They got mischances, they're burning down to the Radiance. Brewmaster has to come back to himself in just a moment. Quoifer's got himself a bloody ultra kill. You may even make it a rampage in just a moment. GG, well played. Game number 1 will go the way of no Diggity. Era's going to kill secure that last one. 12-8. This game, Diggity, they just played so well that timing they hit around the 10-minute mark. Vega had no real answer in that. The last nail in the coffin, or maybe the last point where Vega felt that